Yeah. So yeah, I started that. And once again, thank you so much for making time and just joining this. So I will just give the floor to Shaun to start things off. As I said, Shaun heads up our marketing team and he just has a few questions that will just help us, improve the product, grow, maybe help out our customers a bit more. So Shaun, you can start things off.
Yep. Hi, Dave.
Hello.
Hi. I've heard a lot about you from Monique. Uh, Most of them are about the projects that we are doing with you and your company. So I was just hoping that maybe if you could share your experience of using Cloud Apper and let us know how we can serve more customers like you going forward. So we had a few questions. So I was just wondering, maybe I can get started with them.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So my first question is pretty basic, which is why did you guys chose Cloud Apper? I mean, the right punch to be more specific. How did it help to your business?
We came off of Avanti and we were using physical time clocks that
Okay.
were end of life.
Mm-hmm.
They quit HP had quit making them last summer. So when we were looking around for a replacement, we were looking for something that was cost effective, easy to integrate and implement, and had biometrics. And we looked at the clocks that were available on just getting some
UKG.
feedback. So we looked at UKG's time clocks,
Mm-hmm.
but the problem with UKG's time clocks was the stuff that had biometrics wasn't available in the supply chain and likely wouldn't have been available by the time we went live. So that
Okay.
drove us into a different solution. And which is where in talking to UKG, they had recommended RightPunch to us. And
Okay.
after looking at it, we made the decision to go ahead with it because it would be available. It was cost effective, and it seemed to meet our needs around biometrics, no touch punching, because we
Okay.
were doing this in the middle of the pandemic. So
Mm-hmm.
as little physical contact as possible with the device is what we were looking for.
Any particular reason behind using biometric other than the touchless factor?
We used biometrics on in Avanti on the time clock. And
Okay.
the primary reason we were using biometrics and wanted to continue with it was to prevent buddy punching and time theft.
Okay. That's great. So I believe after using right punch, the problems that you have mentioned, these were resolved, right?
Yes, yeah.
That's really great to hear. Um, can you give us some other, examples, any specific examples where you have particularly felt that this is something new or something new benefit that we're getting out of Right Punch?
I think the biggest benefit to it has been the ease of use for staff
Mhm.
and not having to remember a user ID or a password just to punch in.
Okay. And in terms of workforce management, other than body punching and convenience to the employees, uh, has it improved your workforce management process in some kind of a way?
Um, it,
Like
I don't
maybe
think
it
it's
has
really
streamlined the
made
process. Hmm.
It certainly streamlined the process of punching in and out, which is something that we've been doing for some time. So it didn't really affect the work process so much. It just
Okay,
made it easier for staff.
right. It fits right into the process of your organization, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
That's great.
lined up very well with the process that we were currently using.
So, while after starting using this platform, have you ever thought about like collecting any data, like after using RightPunch? What kind of is there any kind of specific metric or data that you have thought about collecting, or maybe you have noticed that actually shows the impact of using RightPunch? Can you think of anything right at the moment?
You know what? We've been so focused on just implementing the HRIS software
Okay,
piece that we
I get that.
really haven't thought about these little peripheral pieces too much at this point in
Okay,
time.
okay. That's perfectly all right. So, in terms of time capture process, you have mentioned that it has made the whole process more easier. Have you faced any hiccup anywhere, like in terms of you're using facial biometric, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So, have you ever noticed any hiccup, like the system is not responding well, or having difficulty in registering someone, or something like that?
You know what? I think the biggest thing with it was staff getting used to turning their head left and right when they were punching in and getting their
Hmm.
face lined up in the scanner. Um,
Hmm.
I find instead of wanting to just do a straight left or right turn, staff want to tilt their head instead to the left or right. So,
Yeah, makes sense.
things like that, and just getting staff used to how to actually physically use it. And the other thing is, it for them to get comfortable getting as close to the iPad as they need to get for their face to be recognized. They tend to kind of start far back and then like inch a little bit forward, inch a little bit forward. So it took some some work for staff to get used to just that process of how to use the facial recognition piece. But once they got it, it,
Yeah.
it was fairly straightforward after that. Um, the other hiccup that we've kind of seen is with identifying whether the punch went through or not. The
Hmm.
error message that pops up, the little yellow bar that says the punch wasn't successful, comes and goes so quick that staff don't really notice it.
Got it.
So
Okay.
sometimes a punch won't happen because they didn't get their face in the right spot, and because it goes back to the tile to start the process so quickly, it's sometimes difficult for them to know if they successfully punched in or not.
Yes, I totally
Yeah,
understand. So maybe these are some of the areas we can work on to make the process more, seamless for you, our customers. Uh, we do use them in our office as well, and we have experienced, some small adjustment factors here and there, and we are giving this feedbacks to our development team to make sure that these are reflected in the upcoming versions. Hopefully soon these issues will be resolved. All right.
Yeah,
So,
staff have kind of
mhm,
gotten used to it. They just kind of,
mhm.
if they
mhm.
see that little yellow flash, they know, okay, I'll just punch again.
Yeah,
But yeah, that would be the one thing for staff that would help
Mhm.
out with for them.
Yeah, we're sure gonna take this feedback forward.
absolutely.
Uh,
And in fact, this timeout thing, it is something we actually pretty much are aware of, and this is something that is, to be honest, in the pipeline. And I don't think it will be too long that we at least increase it by a few milliseconds at least. So yeah, this is something we also got, like even from our office. So we should be addressing that fairly soon.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that'll be a good one. They'll like that. The other thing, the only other real issue that anybody has kind of mentioned is when the managers are registering, doing the biometric registering,
Right.
sometimes they'll forget to log out and put it back in user mode. So
Okay.
what happens then is staff they've figured out they can get in and punch their buddies in if it's in registration mode.
Okay.
So if there was some way that the application you could log into registration mode for the biometrics, have it stay in registration mode for like 10 minutes or something, and then automatically go back to user mode.
Yeah, we can do that. Another one thing is what we have experienced is that in most cases, the devices for registration and clock in, clock out are normally, they use separate devices for that. That might be another one way you can, take care of the situation. Since the application is available in like multiple platforms, as well as you know uh, these are these can be used from any Android or iOS devices, right?
Yeah, we've tried to keep it to like one device. Like what we have, we're using an iPad, and we configure them through Mosel. And then we have them locked in kiosk mode, so they can't use them for anything else.
Okay.
So that, and what we're basically trying to do there is limit the options for people to do other things with the iPads, so that we don't have somebody standing on the iPad utilizing that device while people are punching in and out. So if you got a big long lineup of staff coming into work, they're not waiting for somebody to look up their vacation pay while they're just trying to work in to start their shift.
Yeah.
So, we've made that separation, but
I totally get that. Maybe this is something we can discuss internally as well.
Dave kind of dropped off. I think it's a network issue. Let's give him a minute.
Separated punching in and punching out.
Okay.
Dave, you just dropped off for a minute, so yeah.
Yeah, I think I hit the wrong button on the keyboard.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, that's fine. We totally understand your issue here, and we're obviously going to discuss this internally and get back to you with a proper solution for this. My next question would be like you have previously used another one software that you mentioned, and currently you're using RightPunch. So you have quite a bit of experience of using biometric for punching in and out. So what would you say to the other businesses who are thinking about adopting a biometric time clock solution? What would be your recommendation to them, like why they should go for RightPunch?
We've talked, like, not one of the other locations that we're also working with on implementing the UKG software. We've said, yeah, that we're using RightPunch, and I think the biggest advantages to it are the ease of use and how cost effective it is. Compared to the cost of standard biometric time clocks, which can be several $1,000s per clock.
Yes.
Versus, the cost of the software plus an iPad. It's a significant cost savings. I think we did 8 locations and the total cost of 8 locations for the software licenses was less than what one time clock would have cost us.
Okay, that's excellent. Basically, the idea of RightPunch came from that perspective. Like we wanted to make something that is avoidable, that can be used with all the UKG solutions. And I believe Onik has already shared with you. We have been planning to do more with UKG solution, different UKG solutions. Basically, we are trying to pull all the data from UKG and you know create so many different functionalities for UKG users using our platform. So yeah, thank you for the feedback on this one. Now, in terms of implementation, which is crucial part of this kind of project success. So, how was your experience with the implementation? I mean, can you share your thoughts on that?
Um,
Like, was it easy? Was it like semi-easy or difficult?
like I mentioned earlier, the only real difficulty that we ran into was around integrating the biometrics. The
Hmm.
actual setup and configuration for doing the user sync to workforce dimensions and the punching in and out, that all went relatively smoothly. It's a bit technical, so that might affect organizations where they don't have that technical staff. I found it very similar to another product I used in the past called Del Boomi.
Okay.
Doing those kind of integrations. So for me, having an IT background and a background in doing this kind of stuff, it wasn't that bad. It took a little bit of back and forth to clarify a few things and some settings.
Okay.
But outside of that, I personally didn't find it very difficult. Like I said, the biggest issue was the integration of the facial biometrics on the back end side. But you guys were super responsive to any emails that I sent around getting it fixed. Like within a couple of hours of sending an email, I had a response, and generally any issues were solved within a day or two. So,
Yeah.
from that perspective, I didn't find it that bad. But I could see where another, like a smaller organization or an organization that didn't have the technical staff, it might
Hmm.
be a little trickier for them. And
Okay.
but I think
Do you
you guys
have
provide
any?
support for that. So.
Yeah, we do. We try to provide as much support as possible. Actually, the product is intended to be used by non-technical users. So, uh, if you have any feedback regarding how we can make it more easier to complete the implementation process, uh, we'd really love to hear that from you as well.
Um, y- I think some of the things I ran into was
Hmm.
it would be around just the instructions and the clarity of some of the settings.
Okay.
There was, I can't remember which one it was. I had put a word in and it wanted a number,
Hmm.
and in
Okay.
the instructions, if it had said, set it to a 1 or a 2 or something. So, some little things like that. Um,
Okay.
and it also, of course, helped when I actually read the instructions instead
Okay.
of instead of just being like typical IT guy and I don't need instructions. We'll just do this.
Yeah, you like to be more hands-on, right?
Yeah.
Hi.
Well,
So,
and
mhm.
Oh, I was going to say, and like I said, I have a technical background, so I tend to just
Great.
jump in and go. And
Great.
sometimes coming from that background, we tend not to read instructions.
Trust me, I can
Right.
resonate.
And how was the support? Like our customer support team. To be more specific, we have Onik with us. How was his help?
um,
Was he
you know what?
adequate?
You guys have been fantastic right from the start. Like I said, any issues I had, I just sent an email, and within a couple of hours, I usually had an answer.
That's great. We try to be as much agile as possible to accommodate our customers. We just want you to be happy. Uh, that's like, and that's something I believe it's gonna take us forward. That's the only way forward for us.
Yeah. It,
So I'm actually done. Yeah, yeah. Please go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, I just said yeah. Yeah, I agree
Okay.
with you.
Yeah. So I'm done with all my questions. The final question that I have is there anything else that you'd like to mention?
No, no, I think we covered the two, like kind of the two things we were kind of having a little bit of feedback on was the notification of the successful, not successful punch, and the switching for the registration between user mode and registration mode, and being able to get back out of registration mode automatically into user mode if the manager forgets to log in. Those are really the only two kind of pieces that we're having any issues with, and other than that, it's working great.
That's really great to hear from you. Thank you so much, Dave, for giving me your time. I believe, Onik, you would like to continue this call, right?
Nope. I think this was pretty much the
Okay.
purpose of the call, to have like
Okay.
just discuss this. Yeah.
All right. So I'm done from my end. Thank you, Dave, for giving me your time. I'd really love to hear from you some other day. I mean, going forward. And if there is any problem or any anything you need from our end, Onik is there. You can reach out to me directly as well. We'd love to help you out with anything within our capacity. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. It's been it's actually been really one of the smoother parts of the whole project was getting this up and running and implemented. So thank you guys.
Absolutely, because I recall, Dave, you kind of did pretty much everything on your own. I think I just helped you out with the biometric part. So we kind of do both things. Like, we have guys like you who kind of knows how the things work, and they pretty much take care of the major part, and we just help them out. And like, when there are purely non-technical guys, because we do get to work with a lot of HR people, in those cases we kind of like try to hold their hand throughout, like from giving the documentation to like running them throughout the setup. So we just adopt based on the customer demographic. But thank you so much for joining this call. We like ask you a whole lot of questions, and you were like really good sport about it. And if you have like any questions for us, I think you gave like the major feedbacks. But if you do have any questions for us, you can ask me here. You know where to find me. So obviously, just feel free to ask me anything whenever you feel like it. It's always good to have you here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good to know you guys are back there if we need you. And like I said, it's been one of the easier parts of the project to get it done. So thank you guys very much. We're enjoying the product, and I think that says about as much as needs to be said about it. It
Absolutely,
just
trust me.
works.
That's like music to our ears. That's what
Yeah.
what we would like to like hear all the time.
Yeah, it's nice when you have a product that just works.
Absolutely, nothing too complicated. It just works, does what it's supposed to do. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can end today's session from here. And obviously, Dave, I will be in touch. Clinton would also be in touch from like the customer success team, maybe like checking in here and there, like, hey, how things are going. But once again, I really appreciate you taking the time out. Take care of yourself. Thank you, Sean. Thank you, Clinton. I think we should drop off for today, and hopefully we'll catch up again someday.
Yeah, anytime.
Thank
Just
you.
send me an email. And thank you
So,
guys. It's been a
okay,
pleasure.
guys.
Thank you,
Okay.
Dave. Thanks,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks,
Yeah.
guys.
Have a great
Closing
day.
the call,
Bye.
guys. Take care. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.